So let me introduce myself. So I'm Dattatreya Kumar Tadepalli, and I'm into this ERP from the past. ERP in the sense in this domain of Dynamics 365 from the past 10 years. So I've close to 11 years. I have started in 2014. At that time, I have started on the previous versions of Dynamics 365. I've started my career on AX 2009. So, and then I have worked on AX 2012 R2 and R3. And since 2018, I'm working on this Dynamics 365. And teaching is my part profession. So, I'm a full time consultant too, working for an IT company. So, and this is my part profession. So, since again from 2018, I'm teaching Dynamics 365. So, I like in this teaching. So, that's why I make it as a part profession. And it's been close to 8 years since I have started this teaching. And since it is not my main profession, so maybe approximately I have given training to around 300 people so far, approximately, not the exact number. So I have started this teaching not with institute before. Initially, I have started with IT companies where I went to few IT companies, and whenever they recruit any freshers, there will be in the requirements or a requirement of giving some training to them. So at that time, so I was hired for that, and that training was given by me to those freshers. So that's how my teaching profession was started in 2018. Okay. So we are having a demo session today, and through this demo session, the expectation is I have some content to show you in the form of some PowerPoint slides. So what you can, I mean, by the end of this session, you can decide whether I was able to do justice for your learning on Dynamics 365 supply chain management. So this is what you can look after, and then you can take a decision whether to take up this particular course or I mean, you have a different opinion. You can take a decision. So that's why we are having this demo session today, and I have a PowerPoint to present it. My PowerPoint was prepared in such a way. Sometimes some freshers also will join. I mean, freshers in the sense the people who just they have completed their graduation. So those people also will join. So I have some slides for those people as well. So to project. But instead of reading out all these topics that are mentioned here, the promise I can give you, people will be able to understand how many verticals are there in Dynamics 365. And if you take up this particular course, what will be the role that you are going to get in IT and what will be your responsibilities, and little introduction to the Dynamics 365. And I mean, what we are going to, what is the agenda? I mean, whenever few people take up the course, how long it will be, what will be the duration, and what we are going to discuss. What are the topics that we are going to cover on a high level? I'll just give you some of the topics, and I will give some introduction to the course that we have. Okay, so these are the things that I'm going to discuss in the next 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so what is an IT? I mean, IT stands for information technology, that's fine. But what happens in IT? So, in my opinion, there are only two things that will happen in IT. Two things in the sense, whatever the operations that are being done in IT, we can categorize those into two. So, I'm not saying that all the operations that are being carried out in IT will come under only these two categories. Not like that. I can frankly say that 70 to 80% of the operations that are being done in IT industry will come under these two categories. Okay. So this is not something a Google definition or something that was taken from any other website. Not like that. This is my view based on the experience I had. Okay. So the first category is, so using the information, IT people or IT industry will sell the technology. So I'll repeat the point again. Using the information, IT people or IT industry will sell the technology. So what sort of information it is? So whenever any person, any company or a business, they had a need. So if you take a very small hotel business also, they need some basic software kind of thing. to generate a bill for you for the item that you have requested. Okay, so they also need some basic software for it. So the need for them is to generate a bill, and at the end of the day, they must observe what was the sale and how many, how many plates of item that we have sold on that particular day, and what was the income generated through that particular sale that they made on a particular day. So this was the scenario that they want to check. So for those scenarios also, they need a basic software there. So there is a purpose for a particular business. So in the same way, for any sort of business, there will be a requirement of a software for them in order to continue their operation, their business operations. So here information refers to the business requirement. Okay, what was the requirement for the from the customer side about their business? Okay, so using that information, so IT people or IT industry will sell the relevant technology to them. Sell the relevant technologies, they will sell this software license to those company people. Okay, so first of all, the IT is not specifically a tool, so a number of softwares will be there. So we are generalizing the scenario here, and then I'm explaining the view that I had. So it could be today we are here about Dynamics 365, but there are a number of other applications and number of other softwares also, which will help the business organizations to meet their goals in handling their business operations. Okay. So the one way I explained it just now, right? So using the information that could be a customer need of a software, and that could be a customer requirement about a software. That using that information, IT people will sell the relevant technology to the customer for their business operations. Okay. So this is one thing. And the second thing is whatever the, by the way, the first way we call it as an implementation. This is the other way we have. It means that implementation in the sense, let's say if some software was there, which is a predefined one, and we will customize that software according to the business requirements that we receive from the our customer company. Okay, it means that it will be something, what was the product which was readily available, we will do some sort of changes as per the customer's business according to their feasibility. So how easily they can use the software. So, and according to the how they want the software, we will make some changes, and we will sell that license to the customer. This is how one way what the operations that are being carried out in IT, and IT people will make money out of. And the second thing is, let's say already if the software was already sold and the license was already sold to the customer, and sometimes if it is a very big organization and n number of people in the organization n number of people in the organization are using that software, so sometimes they will get some real time issues in handling the application. So they will face some sort of errors. So, in order to provide some assistance or support to that particular people in the organization, so IT people will take it also that particular activity as a project. You all know about the definition of a project, right? So, in simpler way, if I have to say about the project, a project is can be a set of tasks that will be handled by a group of people within the stipulated time. So, that is what project is. So IT people will take that support or the assistance that they have to provide to the customer company people. They will take it as a project and provide required assistance on it. So we call it as a support project. This is, or in the other name is managed services. So two things will be there in IT. One is implementation and the other one is support or managed services. These are the two operations. Whatever the operations that are being carried out in IT, you can map those operations to any of these two categories. Okay. So this is my view about IT, and based on the experience I had. So this is what I understood about IT. Okay. So this particular image belongs to the support side. So whatever the technology it is, the assistance will be provided to create some data and to store that data. Whenever the data is required, again we can retrieve the data and it will be given to the customer and it can be transferred from one person to the other person. So that's how the operations in IT will be carried out. Okay. So now why we are discussing about this IT means whatever the application that we are discussing now, the Dynamics 365. So in the IT industry also, so there will be two categories here. It's like whatever the standard application that was there, Dynamics 365. So whenever the project was awarded to the in a particular IT company, we will first come to know the customer requirements or why the customer is looking for an ERP product like Dynamics 365. And by according to those requirements, we will customize that application and sell that to our customer. So it's a kind of implementation. And sometimes whatever the product that was already sold, we will provide some sort of support on Dynamics 365 to the end user organization. End user organization in the sense the organization who took that particular Dynamics 365 license. Okay. And my next slide is about ERP. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Before we go for the actual topics of this supply chain management, so there is an utmost need for us to know what is ERP. Okay, because our Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is an ERP product. Okay, so before ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay, so I have a usually in my demonstrations I'll explain it in the form of a story, and then we will come to the definition of ERP. Is something relevant? I mean, I'm explaining this ERP definition in the form of an example or in the form of a story. It's not something else I'm saying and coming back to the ERP one. So let's say if you take any business, okay, and the very frequent example I will take here, usually I take here is Maruti Suzuki company. So if someone asks you what is Maruti Suzuki company or what does Maruti Suzuki company does, they will manufacture the car and they will sell that car to their customers. So this is what Maruti Suzuki does. Now, if you give a thought from the company perspective, so what the company will do? So the company will buy some raw materials which are required to manufacture that particular car. And once after the car was manufactured, they will sell it to their customers. So it's not a one-man show that was going there. So a number of people will work for that particular company in order to run their business operations. So if you see this particular image here, so you will be able to see some names here. Let us understand that these are the different departments that we have. Let's say if you take this purchasing department, so initially what this purchasing department will do is they have to make some purchases. Purchases means they have to say make some raw material purchase which are required for the manufacturing of the car. Okay. So it's not a one-time purchase that they will make. So let's say if Maruti Suzuki has an agenda that we need to manufacture some 1 lakh cars in some 6 months span of time. Okay. So or in 1 year span of time, let us assume it will be more than that, but in the real time. But I'm telling as an example, I'm taking that 1 lakh as a number. So this the purchasing team, or we call it as a procurement team also. So the team will not purchase all the raw materials in one go, because if all the raw materials are purchased at once, maybe the person is supplying their way, even though there are suppliers for those raw materials. But Suzuki should have some enough space to store all those raw materials. So, and they should have enough amount to spend that much of amount in one go. So they will not do like that. So they will do their raw material purchases according to their need and according to their storage spaces that they have. So this responsibility will be taken care by the purchasing team. Okay, so their job is to create the a purchase orders in the system. Okay, I mean if they have some software system there, or else I would say that it's not a one-time purchase that they will make. So daily they have to create some purchase orders for some raw materials that the company need, and it's quite hard to remember all those things related to the purchase. It means that all those things related to the purchase means, let's say if a purchase order was made for some 100 items, 100 raw materials, So it's a difficult task for a human mind, human according to the human tendency, mind tendency. It's difficult to remember how many items are ordered and what was the quantity against each and every item, and when we are going to get that delivery. Is the delivery being given by vendor in one go, or vendor is giving partial quantities? Let's say if 1 lakh quantity was ordered against a particular item, if is vendor going to fulfill all the 1 lakh quantity in one go, or is vendor going to give 50,000 in one instance and 50,000 in another instance? How the delivery is being made, on what date we are going to receive the stock. So in order to remember all those things, it's a difficult task for a one person or a group of people also. Okay, because daily we will create some purchase orders according to the need of the company. So definitely this purchasing department needs some software solution in order to handle all those things. And coming back, so we have some other departments also in the company called Maruti Suzuki. Let us assume the raw materials are procured and the vendor has fulfilled those that particular stock, and those raw materials reached our warehouse. Now we need to store those particular raw materials in a proper way in our warehouse. So if we did not store those in a proper way, we have to face a trouble whenever we are moving that particular stock to the production floor. I mean, if you took the stock and put it like a dump yard, so it will be tough for us to find out the stock and the quantity whenever we need it in the production floor. Right. So we need to have some structurized inventory and warehouse management solutions here. So how much quantity that came in and how much quantity that was going out for the production. So in order to handle all those things, we need some inventory and warehouse management solution. And since the quantities will be procured in bulk for any company, I mean, if it is a manufacturing company, definitely they will buy the stock in bulk quantities only. And it's not single item that they will purchase; it's a number of items they will purchase. So it's a proper inventory and warehouse management solution is required to handle all those items and to properly store those items and to keep a track on how much stock exists against each and every item. We have to keep track on all those things. So here also for inventory and warehouse management team, they need a software solution for in order to record all those things or in order to maintain all those things. Now let us assume the raw materials are also procured and they are stored in a proper way. And to complete the production activity and to record in the system how many items are being manufactured. So in order to keep a track on those also, production team requires some software solution for it. Okay. And now let us assume the car was also manufactured. And now the marketing team will come into the picture where they have to build some marketing strategies and they have to do some campaigning kind of thing. And they have to introduce that particular car to the people in the market. And I mean, it's like marketing the product. So if they market that particular product well, then only they will people will be attracted and that people will become customers for the company. So that activity will be taken care by the marketing team. So for in order to record the strategies that the people are applying for marketing that particular product and what was the so that also should be recorded in the system. They also need some software solution for it. And obviously for next the if the people are ready to buy that particular product, so now sales team will come into the picture and sales team will to give a good experience to the customer and also to get back, and company also should be benefited, right? So that's why whenever we are buying something, a car kind of thing, usually our details will be taken, our name, mobile number, email, and our in India maybe Aadhaar card, PAN card. So those things. Okay. So those details will be collected by the company and they will make a record in the system that this particular item was sold to the customer on so and so date. And also there is a reason behind it because every car company they will have service also. So usually we'll get our service reminders, right? Based on within 1 month or up to 2000 kilometers, first service has to be made. And then after 10,000 kilometers, second service has to be made. Or, I mean, 10,000 kilometers or 1 year, whichever is earlier. So based on the duties, we will get our WhatsApp messages or text messages, right? How we will get that? Because the company is recording our details, and the company is recording the date of sale against our name. So only if these details are recorded, then only we will be able to get those reminders. So for doing these things also, sales team requires some software solution there. And as these many people are working, so HR department is required, and in order to maintain the skill set of the employees, because if a person is recruited, the skills that the person is having should be properly utilized. Then only a company will be benefited through the person, and it will be a justice to the amount that the company is paying to the person, right? And their absence leave and absence management has to be maintained in the system. So for that we need so they also need a software solution for it. If more people are there, definitely it was required. And there will be a finance team, and some companies it will be divided into accounts payable and accounts receivable. Accounts payable in the sense the amount which we need to pay to the vendors, basically for the raw material for procuring and the services we get from other vendors. And the other point is accounts receivable. It's the amount that our company need should receive from the customers based on the product that we sold to them. Okay. And also, as the company people, more member of people are working there. So payroll department is also required to pay the salaries. So these many departments are there, and against this particular departments, n number of people are working in each and every department. Then only the business operations will go smoothly. Correct. So why I'm explaining all these things means our Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations product have some inbuilt solutions. Whenever you take a product like mobile, we use the term called features. Depending, I mean, feature, right? So this phone is capable of doing these things. So depending on the capabilities, we call it as features when it is a product like mobile. And when it is a application like Dynamics 365, we use the word called functionality. Okay. So Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is capable of these many functionalities. It has an inbuilt solution for the purchase management, sales management, inventory management, warehouse management, payroll management, HR management, service management, and then finance management. So for these many things, we have the solutions available in Dynamics 365 by its standard nature. I mean, these many functionalities are there. Okay. So now this was the story. And coming back to the definition of ERP. So what does this ERP will do is, when you go and search in ERP about this definition of ERP in Google, somewhere or in the other page, you will get an answer that ERP itself is a software. If ERP itself is a software, then why we will name it as Dynamics 360? I'm little against that. What does ERP will do is ERP will provide a solution approach through some software. Okay, so what does ERP will do here means it will different departments will have different requirements, right, for the usage of a software. So ERP will bring all those requirements to one particular software platform, and a solution will be provided. Okay, so that's the definition of ERP. So many ERP products are there in the market. So SAP and SAP PeopleSoft and some local ERPs are also there. Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is one such ERP which is having a great demand in the market, and many of the moderate to high range companies, mid to high range companies, this range was decided based on the turnover that they are having. People will take this Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation license for their purchase management, sales management, finance management, the inventory management, warehouse management, the HR and payroll, so etc. etc. Okay, so that's the definition of ERP. Because I mean it's a part of introduction to the Dynamics 365. Before understanding about the Dynamics 365, we need to understand that what is the purpose of Dynamics 365, why people or the companies will take the license for the Dynamics 365, what they are going to achieve, or what that was the benefit that they are getting. So we need to understand those things in those scenarios also, right? This is what about ERP. And maybe so you people are already working, so I'll just give you a high level explanation on this if there are some freshers. So usually everything that we are doing in IT company, it will be handled through some name called project. So I just a few minutes back I gave the definition of project, right? A set of people doing a set of tasks within the stipulated time will be called as a project. So every project will have these six phases. So we call it as software development cycle, and some people will call it as solution development life cycle. Um, so etc etc, people will have different names to call it as, but what is common across means these are not the exact names, but these are the six phases. These six phases will be there in any sort of software building. Okay, so first one will be the analysis and design phase. So before discussing about these two phases, we need to understand what we will become if you take up this particular course. So in this particular course, you are going to learn about the standard functionalities that are there in Dynamics 365. I mean, what are the functionalities that are available in Dynamics 365? If that was known to you, then you will be able to understand if you go and sit with a customer and if you ask them the question why they are looking for a software solution like Dynamics 365, then customer will start saying about this way is my expectation, right? So a functional consultant has to learn the standard product and should have an idea on the standard product, and they should be capable of analyzing that the requirement given by the customer is can be accommodated through the standard functionality that was there in Dynamics or not, or it should be accommodated with some customization there. So this assessment has to be done by the functional consultant. And if it requires any customization, means that in the standard product we couldn't able to provide the solution through standard product, then is it something achievable through customization or not? That assessment also has to be done by the functional consultant. And if it is something through customization, we will be able to provide solution to the customer. Then how to design it? Okay, the design also should be done by the functional consultant. I'll explain you with some very basic example. So the customer requirement, you all know about the Gmail, right? Gmail. Many of the people will use Gmail. Let's say we got a requirement from the customer and a very high level that we need a sign-in page. So that was the only simple requirement that we will get from the customer. Now, as a functional consultant, we need to design that particular sign-in page in such a way. There should be two rectangular boxes. I mean, by entering this particular link in the browser, people should see a certain page, and in that page, there should be two rectangular boxes in the middle of the page. And on top of the first rectangular box, there should be a name called username. And on this the top of second rectangular box, there should be a password. And just before that, we need to have an option called sign in. And just before that sign in button, we should have another two options called forgot password and forgot username. And only the person who has entered the right username and right password, and after clicking on sign in, the user should be allowed to access the Gmail. If wrong password or wrong username was entered, then the error should be prompted saying that username or password are incorrect. And just we have the forgot password option, right? Whenever we it should be a hyperlink, and whenever hyperlink in this instance, upon clicking on that, you will be able to route it to a different page. So upon clicking on forgot password, the user should be able to route it to a different page where he or she should get the feasibility of changing the password with some criteria. That's how you have to design it. So I have explained you the scenario of Gmail. Similarly, you have to keep in mind about the standard feasibilities of Dynamics 365, and you need to design a solution for the customer based on the requirement that we receive from them. So that will be done in the first analysis will be there where requirements will be gathered, and in the design phase you will design the solution for the customer requirement. And based on the solution that was designed, we will sit with the developer, and the developer will do the relevant coding for it. And once the coding was done, we have to do the functional testing. Functional testing will be done by the functional consultant only. So what does this functional consultant do is based on the design. Let's say you have built some application, right? That upon clicking on sign in, you should be authorized. If correct username was given, then only we should be able to that the person is authorized to enter into the Gmail. So that each and every step that you have written under the design will become a test case for you. So you need to test the scenarios, and you need to provide a testing report whether which one is working fine and which one is not working fine. So once everything was tested properly and if everything was going fine, then the project will go live, and then after maintenance will be there. So in the maintenance, in the sense, initially some sort of support will be provided to the customer. In that phase also, the functional consultant will be the primary point of contact for any issues that the end user is facing in that. Okay. So all these are the responsibilities of the functional consultant. You all know that functional, I just told you, functional consultant means if you take up this particular course and if you start your journey in IT, your role will be functional consultant. And whatever the things I just told you, know, these are the responsibilities of that particular role. Okay. So you will be able to assess only if a particular, for providing a solution to a particular requirement, you will be able to do it only if you know the standard. What are the feasibilities that exist in Dynamics 365? If you come to know that, then you will be able to provide a solution to the customer. So that standard solution or the standard functionalities that are available in Dynamics 365 under the supply chain management, we are going to learn that in our classes. So as I told you that there will be two verticals, functional and technical. So if they work together, then only we will the project will be successful. And have a what is this Dynamics 365? I have some points here, but can anyone tell me why a customer company will look after the a solution like Dynamics 360? It's not easy. It's not a simple task to get the license of a Dynamics 365. But the primary reason why any company will look after an ERP license means it's the amount. See, every businessman will look after only one thing whenever they are investing some money, and that one thing is ROI. We call it as ROI, return of investment. If they invest 1 rupee on a certain thing, how much ROI they are getting on it. So this is what the point of view of any businessman. So if you are spending some 1 rupee there or $1 there, how much ROI we are going to get on that. So I mean, it's not a thing. I'm telling you the view. I'm only telling you the view of a particular businessman. If some crores of money has to be invested on it, so what was the any company will look after? What was the benefit they are going to get there? So the primary benefit is obviously the amount, the finance. Okay. So better see, maybe if they feel that according to the sale that was made, they are not getting the proper amount. So, as per the expectation of the sale that has happened, if they are not receiving that much of amount, it means that some loopholes are there in the business. So, in order to get a proper amount and to get a good revenue and to see better finances, they will take license of Dynamics 365 and whatever things they are handling offline, they will systemize everything through an application like Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Okay. So better finances are possible. Only finances in the sense better revenue or better output in the form of money will be seen only if there are streamlined operations, if there are good if the operations are being handled properly, then only the proper financial outcome is possible. So that's where we are discussing the supply chain management side, that is the operations side. Okay. No. So in the market, so I have some written some content here, streamline the operations, enhance customer engagement, make data-driven efficient decisions, improve efficiency. All these are right, but that was the purpose of Dynamics 365, that any businessman will look towards it. Okay. And what we are going to discuss in our coming sessions. Upcoming sessions in the sense, if you take up this particular course, what we are going to get covered. So Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations is the name of the application, and it's like an ocean. Okay, I told you that there will be solutions for purchases, sales, inventory, payroll, HR, services, manufacturing, etc., etc. Right? In the market also, there are different courses available under Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. We have a course called Trade and Logistics, which most of the people will call it as supply chain management. We have a course for finance. We have a course for manufacturing. We have a course for advanced warehouse management. We have a course for retail commerce. And we have a course for HR and payroll. We have a course for asset management. We have a course for project management, etc., etc. There are different courses available under Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Okay. So now we are under the supply chain management related course. In the supply chain management also, there are three different courses available. One is trade and logistics, advanced warehouse management, and manufacturing. So these are the three different courses that are available in the market when it comes to the supply chain management. I mean the operation side of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So this was the, I mean, once we are under this particular course called Trade and Logistics. So under this Trade and Logistics, what we are going to learn under the application, we are going to discuss about the purchase management. We are going to discuss about the inventory management, the product management, and we are going to discuss about the sales management. So these are the four areas that we are going to discuss. It means that under these four areas, what are the functionalities that exist in Dynamics 365 that we are going to discuss in our classes. And we have a curriculum for that.